Hello friends, today I would like to give you a small list of hardware of how to put together a kit to even shoot a whole feature film with that kit. That kit will cost you about anywhere from about $1,000 to $1,200, which is cheap. It is much cheaper than simply renting stuff out. So let's start with the camera. You don't need 4K. 35mm film was not sharp. It was literally a 1080p quality. So you could do the same by getting an older Canon camera. It would do the job just fine. I would highly suggest the Canon EOS M because it costs just $150 and it has the ability to run Magic Lantern firmware, which is a third-party open source firmware. It's actually scripts that you can run on it to get better quality video. You don't have to use it though, because it's very battery expensive, it's not very stable. Even with a included S264 encoder on that 9-year-old now camera, you get a very good quality video out of it. And so I would definitely go with the EOS M. In my opinion, it's the best cheap camera to start. $150 and that's it. You get everything you need. You get the audio port, you get full manual controls, you can install picture profiles that can give you more dynamic range than usual. So for this, of course, in order to keep the price down of the kit, you have to use one lens. And if you have the money, go for some zoom, maybe the Tamron 70-50 f2.8 that you can find on eBay for about $150. But if you don't even have that much money, you can get the 7 Artisans 25mm f1.8, which is equivalent to around 38 to 40mm in full frame equivalency. This costs just $70. It has a 46mm thread on the front, and it works just fine. It's native to the EOS M mount here. It's beautiful. They go beautifully together. But as I said, if you want more range, definitely the Tamron 70-50 f2.8. Then you will need a variable ND for it, 46mm. That's the filter thread. For it, it will cost you about $20. It's not really an expensive accessory to have it. In my opinion, it's must have when you shoot outdoors. Then I would suggest, of course, a couple of 64GB SDXC cards, 2 batteries and charger. There are some dummy batteries you can buy on Amazon where you can actually connect the camera to the wall. And I have a couple of those, and both times those died. So I don't trust them. Better just use batteries. I mean, it's kind of annoying to use for a feature film batteries instead of an external power source. But anything that's on the market for those batteries, just they're not trustworthy. What else can I do? Then I would suggest, of course, a video tripod with a smooth head. But if you don't have the money for that, and because those cost about $115 minimum. If you don't have the money for that, just get a normal Amazon $20, $25 tripod. And then I would highly suggest a shoulder rest. You can put this on the shoulder rest like this. And there's a lot of those on the market with two handles. I don't suggest you get the ones with the 2 handles. I suggest you get the one with a single handle. First of all, this is not very heavy camera anyway, but you need your other hand to be able to pull focus. So if you have both hands on the handle like this, and then suddenly you need to change focus, the moment that you will leave, you will let one of the handle away, it's gonna turn like this. You will see it on the footage. The footage is gonna turn like this. You don't want that. You want steady. I mean, sure, handheld, but not that kind of a thing. So it's better to have a single handle. And from what I've seen, there's only one that I found on eBay that actually still makes the single handle ones. It's about $45 to $50. On the description of this video, we'll have links to an article that I wrote on my blog, where I have links to all of these products that I'm talking about today. Of course, I'm not sponsored. Then, of course, you need a gray card. You can get one for $7 to be able to set properly the white balance. You can get a clapper board. You can get a cheap one just to sync audio. A field monitor. any field monitor, external HDMI monitor would do the job. Although even if you don't use one, that's fine, because the micro HDMI on those breaks very easily. And of course, you will need a couple batteries for the monitor if you go for the monitor. Then, of course, you have the picture styles. You might need to purchase one. I usually use with all my Canon cameras the Vision Color Cinetech. It's my favorite of all. It has the most dynamic range, and it has the best filmic really response on how it shows all the colors and stuff, and how easily it actually grades. It's my favorite of all. It costs $14. And or you can go, if you don't want to spend money on that, you can go with a free Technicolor CineStyle, which is very popular with Canon users. But in my opinion, it's not as good as the Cinetech. And then, of course, you will need some lights. I have on the link a 2-point lighting kit and a reflector. As particularly, the reflector is fantastic outdoors. If you have a second person to hold the reflector against your actor, you can get this amazing golden glow on them. It looks beautiful. And then, of course, you need to have sound. Oh, God, sound is a problem. I mean, a lot of us here on YouTube will talk about cameras and lenses all day long, but audio is something that is more foreign, let's say, to most of us. I still would suggest the Tascam DR05. It's an older it's an older digital recorder that you can get on eBay these days for about $75 to $80, but it still does the job. It still works. It will do the job. Then you can get a cheap shotgun microphone, as long as it's a shotgun, with phantom power. And of course a dead cat for it, for outdoor shots, headphones, a monopod to be used as a boom mic, or you can get the Amazon stand with a clip. Very easy to set that up. Some long 10 feet audio cable, a cold shoe adapter to mount it on the monopod, or you can use it on the stand, and then of course a swivel extension to be able to turn it at various angles in order to go towards the mouth of the actor. And of course you need some backup. You should never forget backups. Every time you shoot something, just back it up twice. And of course then there is editing. There's free options for all of that. DaVinci Resolve is fantastic for it, because it comes with everything. It comes with the audio editing, it comes with VFX, compositing, it comes with color grading, of course the editing part of it, and then if you need 3D, you can use Blender. There's a GIMP for posters and things like that, graphics, I mean, these are the basics. Of course, you will need some extra stuff like, let's say, gaffer's tape, or extra batteries, or, of course, the legal stuff, insurance even, maybe. And of course, let's not forget food for the cast and crew. That's the #1 thing that should never be forgotten. I mean, anybody can actually come to you and do your short film or your feature film for free, but they won't do it if they're hungry. So you always have to think to budget in food, and good food, not just pizza and sandwiches, Ask if somebody also has allergies and things like that. And that's all the kit that you need. It's about, as I said, about $1,000 to $1,200. And if you need 4K, if you really have to have 4K, I would suggest the Panasonic G7. Comes for about $300 on eBay, without any lens, and then you can use the Tamron 70-50 zoom for it to get more range. And I have another video as well where I show what lenses are good for Micro Four Thirds to use for filmmaking, like the Canon 11-16 if you need something wider. I think that's it. That covers everything. Check the link in the description, because that's where I have all the links to each product and more detail why this and not something else. All right, thanks.